Well, good luck to Prince William. I think he's doing a fab job. Yeah. 7:46. Joining us now to go through some of the day's headlines, broadcaster Claire Muldoon and writer and journalist Emma Wolfe. Thank you very much for coming back. Right, what are we starting with? Oh, Emma. Suella Braverman and her vow to get rid of street tents.
Yeah, she's been talking about how she wants to crack down on rough sleeping. She wants to end the blight of our cities across the UK, of, you know, these sort of homeless tents, sleeping bags and homeless tents. She talks about the explosion of crime and drug taking that goes on, and she uses language like squalor, nuisance and distress. So she's talking about sort of the effect of homeless people in tents, in large encampments, and how she wants to end this. She wants to introduce legislation in the forthcoming King's Speech to make putting up a tent a civil offence, and also she wants to crack down on the charities that are providing these tents. As so often with Suella Braverman, it's quite a sort of ham-fisted approach to this. I think a lot of people can see the point she is trying to make, that large groups of tents, large sort of, as I say, encampments are a blight on our cities. But they're also very mindful of the. I mean, she calls it a lifestyle choice. I think we are all aware of the horrendous choices that you take to get to that stage where you are living on the street with a tent or without a tent.
Well, I worry about that phrase, saying it's a lifestyle choice, because I can't think that anyone would prefer to live in a tent on the street than anything else.
Well, they wouldn't.
I'm not sure why she said that.
I really don't know. I think maybe she was getting at the fact of, if we look globally at the homeless drug culture of San Francisco, say, where we've had major blue-chip companies withdraw their shops from downtown San Francisco, and Whole Foods have moved out. IKEA actually are moving in. They're moving into this part of San Fran that's completely run down. Ironically as well, San Fran tech head working from home. Lots of these companies that were based in San Francisco enabled and built the working from home model. Everyone now is not working from, is still working from home, sorry. They're not working in the cities, and that is the cause of this destruction. People are not using the economies of scale to buy local, go into the city centres and do it. So therefore, we've got this vista of openness that these drug lords, those that are dissident, people who have fallen on hard times, because it is tough out there.
But it's also worth focusing on the homeless people themselves and how they get to that stage.
The thing that makes me sort of bang my head on the desk about this kind of thing is that she's got a point. She's got a point about we don't want to descend towards these tented cities on British streets that we have seen across the continent and America.
Well, Martin.
Yet, now she's put herself in a position where crisis and shelter, the homeless charities, are steaming into her. And once again, it's the cruel, cruel Tories. Who's in charge of the
nasty party?
Do you remember when Giuliano went in, when he became mayor of New York City? Completely cleaned it up.
Yes, he did.
Right, moved all the homeless people, everyone sleeping rough, moved them all away, made it all a sanctuary. I've worked in homeless shelters. I know the effects of, you know, not having a home or, you know, not having anything at all. It's really, to say that it's a lifestyle choice is often demeaning and very not, it's just not right at all.
But maybe we need, well, we do need a much more nuanced discussion about the choices, about the things that happen in people's lives, whether they don't want to be in hospitals.
We need more houses. We need more housing.
We need more houses. We need people, veterans, for example, to be looked after properly after they leave the service. We need better drug facilities for people, because a lot of this is about drug taking. Tents are often used for that kind of...
There are criminal
There's a lot of crime going on as well. So I think we can't just pretend that this is, you know, a really simple...
But cracking down on the tents themselves and actually saying they must not do, the charities must not give starving, cold people in the street a tent is not what she should have said. She's actually attacked the problem from the wrong angle.
Well, of course she has, but that's the comms. That's the comms at the moment in Downing Street. They seem to be attacking everything wrongly.
Yeah, they're just going for the symptom and not the cause. It looks cack-handed and it looks heartless, and now is not the time...
It looks very heartless and very nasty. That's exactly
if she'd said instead, we need to do something about the fact that we are becoming tented cities if we're not careful, therefore we are going to look at a programme to offer better alternatives.
And she could have consulted
people back into housing.
She could have consulted those that know, and those that know are the ones that work for shelter and work for all these homeless aids. They were not consulted.
And frankly, I don't want to hear that in the King's speech, do you?
I don't. No, I don't.
I don't want to hear the King reading out something about we will get rid of tents or we will...
Squalor and the distress.
Yeah, I don't want to hear him say that.
That's about us.
I don't think he'd be happy saying that at all.
And it's also now become a very political debate, and the King shouldn't be reading out political statements. That's
No,
the
he
whole
shouldn't,
point.
especially when he's got enough homes.
And we all, can we just focus on that feeling? We've all seen it. Early cabs in the morning, we often see, and you see people on the streets in the rain, in the cold, in the winter, and every one of us thinks they're but, you know, how awful, they're but for the grace of God. The cold and the
well, it is
dirt
awful.
and the
It is
misery
awful
that people must go through.
Yeah. OK, shall we move on to one of your stories, Claire?
Yeah.
This is the China Jolly Folly.
Yeah,
Here we go. This is MPs on the take.
This is a really, really interesting story, actually, and one that I think we have to be aware of, and it's embedded in page 8 here of The Sun on Sunday. Nothing else at all has been reported from it. There's an APPG, I think that's the cross-party action group for China.
Yep.
There's a trip to China end of this month with John Swire, Arup, the City of London Corporation and HSBC. Every one of those corporations, every one of those businesses has a massive link to China. There are some MPs in this country who have actually been sanctioned against China by the Chinese. You've got the Uyghurs who are being... I mean, look what's happening in the Gaza Strip at the moment. Oh, and by the way, is there a war in the Ukraine? You'd never know it because it's not covered anymore.
I can't believe that either.
OK, Anne? And then the Uyghurs, the systematic abuse of the Uyghurs in communist China at the moment. Do we really think? What are the optics in this then? Conservative and Labour, because it's a cross-party group here, all going on a jolly over to China. I don't think the optics of that are very good at all.
No.
And when you look at the firms who are sponsoring it, they have got massive, massive ties to China.
OK, we haven't got time to discuss that any further. We might do next time. But right now, we've only got a couple of seconds to say thank you very much for the moment. See you next hour, and let's find out more about your weather today.